share ideas. It has happened for centuries in all communities around the world. Join us as we sit under the tree to share and discuss issues that affect our day-to-day lives. From the ordinary people of all walks of life, sharing their experiences and experts giving us professional advice. Be part of the Under the Tree program only on iRadio 98.6 FM, your eye on South Sudan.
Yes, indeed, you are on South Sudan. Welcome to the program with me, Helen Samuel. And today I am excited to have Honorable MP Helen Ngaidok Lokurnyang, an MP in the National Transitional Legislative Assembly, who will be sharing with us her journey from childhood to where she is now or she is today. This will cover growing up as a young girl, how she was regarded as an ambitious girl with a passion for education in a community that would prefer girls to be married or for wealth. The journey of women in leadership positions is often marked by challenges and obstacles, but also by inspiration and support from other women. The presence of women in leadership roles can have a profound impact on inspiring and empowering other women to pursue their own leadership aspirations. This is particularly relevant in contexts where women face significant barriers to education and leadership, such as in South Sudan. In South Sudan, many communities still believe in early marriage for girls rather than in education, making it difficult for women to pursue their goals. For instance, a report by UNICEF notes that South Sudan has one of the highest rates of child marriage in the world, with nearly 50% of girls married before the age of 18. It takes courage and commitment for a woman to reach her goals in such an environment. In the country currently, we are witnessing a good number of women aspiring to fulfill their dreams of being able to climb to higher levels, whether academically or professionally. Stay tuned to learn more from Honorable Helen, how she has come so far. So, Honorable Helen, I'm so glad to have you here on iRadio today to talk about what has inspired you, what had made you really feel like you should climb the ladder and reach to the toppest if possible. Welcome to iRadio.
Thank you for having me.
Na muslimin tanna marhaba bik لبرنامج تنا تحت الشجرة دائما جيجي تكون في وقت زيدا والليلة من أنا مرتاح شديد أنا عندي honorable هيلين اسم تنا كل ليلة هيلين في ماما هيلين وفي honorable هيلين وفي TNLA هنا في أودوتا مجلس هنا في جنوب هنا في جوبا وهو كمان يعني هو حاول كثير عشان كيف هو بقدر يوصل في منصب القدام والليلة الناس ونسوا عن مشوار بتاع النسوان في للقاعدة هم شنو يجيسبوا مرة بيكوتوا في أو تمو شنو يكوتوا مرة جيفل إنه أنا ولا من زمن اللغة قرأ أنا لابد أنا زو نوتو سلم ده لحد أنا بوصل فوق في محل في أو أنا بقدر وصل في محل أنا كمان عنده صوت وأنا بيكون متمكن في صعوبات كتير جيليجون نسوان طبعا في جنوب السودان في العالم كله لكن تنتا جنوب السودان كمان أن جوان نسوان بيركزوا هنا مثلا واحد منهم يا كلمة التعليم أن بيجون نسفقوا كتير طبعا دي فتاي وأودو تبرلمان وبيجوري لنا كمان ندرس ما منو حقو كان شنو واقدر فوقو كيف وده كله بيجي تكون الليلة في برنامج تاتيتا الشجرة وانا بتمنى انه تكون كتابي أنا على الهواء وكمان تكون ممكن بقدر تابعنا في موقعنا الاجتماعية وكمان تكون بيساعد أن ما كلام أو ما فكرة سؤالات تكون تعليقات تكون كله أن برحبه عشان بيشوفوا نسوان تدناهم كمان في قاعدة فوق أو من كمان بقدر أعمل حاجات اللي انت وأنا بقدر أكون مبسوط منه أنا ما بيشيلوا الزمن أنا جيجا بدأ توالي عشان أنا درس ما كتير وكتير من دي فتاي وزمن دنا خلاص روا كمان أنا ببدأ توالي حسي وبعد فترة أنا بيشيلوا التليفونات تكون إن شاء الله
بس كليك على آي راديو هنا تكون في جنوب السودان.
Okay, so now let us start, or let's start the ball rolling, because time is also moving so fast, and I think we need to know more from Honorable Helen here today. So, Honorable, you can speak in any language that you're comfortable with, or you can express yourself in properly, or you can just mix all together, because we are aiming to have everyone at least to get what we're talking about today. So, Nageja Wanusu, Honorable Bonusu, leta kunbe ayuluga, alkaman, so altake kan fita pasalbe ayuluga nazu ayozol kede afamo. So, let me start with this. Who is Honorable Ngaida? I hope the name I said it well.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Mama Helen, for hosting me today, and I'm excited to be part of this show. To begin with, my full name is Helen Ngaido Lukurinyang-Lado, Member of Parliament representing Greater Pibor Administrative Area from the ticket of SPLM IO. And in particular, I represent Gumruk County in Greater Pibor Administrative Area. Yes.
Thank you for that introduction. Now you know who is Itaknara Fokalas, Day Fataifi Dakil Studio, Alela Munu, Odo Tabarlaman, Uogi Meselu, Greater Pibor Administrative Area, Montigata, Pibor Al Idaria. So, the next question is, how was life for you growing up as a girl? Because girls are encouraged. Were girls encouraged to go to school during your time?
Thank you so much, Mama Helen. This is a question that I would always love to hear, because when we talk of girl child education, we mostly talk about the challenges that the girls face in South Sudan in trying to access education. Growing up as a girl child in Greater Pibor is always associated to wealth in terms of cattle and such things in form of dowry. But for my case, I think I had a supportive parent. My mom, may her soul rest in peace. She fought very hard to ensure that I went to school alongside my other siblings in a family of 8 children. I am the second born. My elder sister got married before having a formal education. But then I think my mom saw that it was important for us to go to school, and I had to lead the other children at the second born. So along the way, as I grew up and also attending school, I encountered a lot of challenges. Being a girl, when we try to describe what gender means, we are talking about the roles that defines who you are. Mm-hmm. And being a girl and also going to school in my community is a bit challenging, because you always play that role of a mother in absence of your mom. You will have to take care of
from a very early age, young age.
You are taught to, to shoulder all the house chores, from taking care of your younger siblings, from cleaning the house, cooking, all those sort of things. But aside from that, most of the men will be coming and asking for your hand in marriage, even when you have not attained that legal age. Some people would come, when I was still 5, and trying to book me.
Imagine, 5 years.
Yes, trying to book me that I'm going to marry. They will tell my mom that I want to marry your daughter, just because they believe you are hardworking and this is the only thing you can do. Mm-hmm. Once you get to that household.
Actually, they don't look at the future, but they look at the quality in you as a good housewife.
Exactly. These are some of the things that they saw, and my mom was like, no, I want to be different. I want my daughter to go to school. First of all, my dad was one of the freedom fighters during the civil war, with the Sudan. Mm-hmm. And he died in the process, and my mom was left as a widow, and she had to take care of us on her own. Sure. And in my community, it's very difficult if somebody is a widow. Mm-hmm. You shoulder all the responsibilities, and on top of that, some of the men will look at you with an eye that they will not look at a man with. So she decided that the only way for me to change the state that I am in right now is to ensure that my children go to school. So what she did is that in 2005, she had to take us to Kakuma refugee camp, where we all enrolled in a refugee school.
In Nairobi.
No, in Kakuma
In
first.
Kakuma, yeah.
Yes, and then in 2009, she decided to take us to Nairobi. I mean, we had to obtain the status of urban refugees. We took refuge in Nairobi, and then where we got some, not much assistance, but at least some little assistance that had to push us to where we are today. And the good thing is that I loved going to school, and one thing that helped push me to where I am today is the fact that I was able to perform well. And most of the times, I do not need my mom to support me all the time, because I know she has to, support the other children in terms of food provision. So most of the times, when I perform well,
She was like the head of the family.
she was the head of the family, actually. So whenever I perform well, some well-wishers will come in, and I will be awarded most of the times. So whatever I get from the award is what will sustain me, throughout the term until when we break for holidays. So I did not need to call my mom all the time, like, give me this, because I also know what she's shouldering there. Now, one thing I loved about my journey through the school is that we had some of the leaders in my community who supported me, likes of General Kennedy Gain, who is currently a member of the Council of State, representing also Greater Bibo Administrative Area. There was a time I topped the class when I was in St. Bakit and Narus before we moved to Kakuma. I performed well, and what he did was really amazing, and that is something that I will never forget. And I feel like one time, if I am able to stand on my feet alone, I will have to do the same thing or even more than what he did. He actually had to reward me with a cow.
Wow.
Yes.
That was
like, yeah, it was an encouragement. That cow was sold, and it supported me for 2 years in school.
Imagine.
Yes, with my school fees. So
This is a girl who really understood the value of
he
education,
knew.
especially for a girl.
Exactly. So among all the boys or the girls that performed well, I was the only one chosen. I mean, we had also boys who topped the class, but he left the boys and chose me and another girl.
Yes.
So that was really encouraging, and I was like, okay,
He's
I
a
don't
male
want
champion.
Yes, and he was also a friend of my father. So I promised myself that I'm never going to let him down. I have to make sure that I study very well, pass, get a good job, and also support other young girls who are ambitious. So this is how I came all the way from all those challenging situations, and also the fact that we've got some cultural barriers that would have hindered me from actually attending the school. But I was able to come through all of them, from early marriages or even forced marriages. Because if I was to be in Pibor until I am 18 or even 16, maybe I would have gotten married off.
So this one actually tells me that you have to salute your mom for taking that decision to take you away from that environment, because it would have been difficult to you to make any other option, or you wouldn't even be able to see other opportunities for a young girl, because most of our young girls who are not exposed feel that the husband is the only option for me
to climb the ladder
or to support me. So it's like you're thinking about yourself, because not all men are going to support you and all your families. They can do that from the beginning, but as time goes on, it will be a little bit difficult. So I still, because you mentioned some challenges, especially during education, but now I don't know if you can tell, apart from your mother, is there someone else who actually inspired the direction of your choice of career? Today you are a member of parliament, okay?
Yes.
So was there an external inspiration, or it was just something you feel like one day I have to be in the parliament?
Well,
or taking any other constitutional post?
Yes. Okay. Initially, I had a dream of becoming a politician, not knowing that I would actually start with being a member of parliament. Because, as I said earlier, my dad fought for this country. I mean, up to some extent, though he didn't make it to to the independence. So this is one of the things that inspired me. I felt like now that he is not in the picture, the only way for me to take over and continue his legacy is through education. This is one thing that inspired me. Even though along the way I had dreamed of becoming a doctor, but I think God had other plans for me.
True.
Yeah, when I hear stories of people being dissected, the dead body like touching, I was like, no, I cannot do that. So I chose to go for law studies, of which I think is association more with politics.
With politics, yeah.
I was not also sure that I was going to get to politics as soon as now, but after the 2013, that fight got me here in Juba, and as I was traveling back to Kakuma, I was coming for a visit, and then as I was traveling back to Kakuma, to Nairobi via Kakuma, I got dropped on the way. Yeah, I got dropped on the way. That was coupled with the death of the former chief, our paramount chief, Nganto Kavula. When I got robbed, I cried, not because I was robbed, but I felt like we have been let down again.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I feel bad, and I said, okay, now let me get myself into politics. I don't know where to start, but I have to do something about it. I want to be in the government of South Sudan as one of the constitutional post holders. So I chose the party that I am in right now, and I registered myself. I became the member of the National Liberation Council in the SPLM-IO, and my name remained there. But then again, when 2016 war broke out, I did not change my mind. I just decided to remain, not knowing what the fate held for me. And then towards the end of 2016, I went to Bibor. I got a job with one of the NGOs. And then in 2018, when the peace agreement was signed, I decided to become inactive a bit, because NGO work does not go together with politics.
Sure.
So I had to drop, but I knew that my name was there, but I became inactive until in 2021, when the government was formed. Some of my colleagues in the party recommended that I should become a member of parliament. I was like, okay. My husband was the first person to call me that, Helen, your people are saying this, because he is from a different party. Your people are saying that. Are you ready to take up the role? I said, yes, why not? Then he was like, no, the government does not have money. I said, it's fine. It's not about money. It is about what I want to, the role that I want to play in the politics of South Sudan. And now that the opportunity is here, I have to go for it. And that is how I ended up becoming a member of parliament up to today.
That is interesting. That is really interesting. But now also, sometimes as we are speaking, I said earlier on that some women got inspired by others. Some, for you, it was your dad. It was the situation where you are, and it was also my
dream.
Your dream to become a politician one time.
Yes.
One time, is there any role model that you feel like you
definitely
that is really like everything for you,
definitely.
whether in South Sudan or outside?
Yes.
It's okay. Did you have one?
When I grew up, I knew the former president of Liberia, Helen Johnson.
Wow, all Helens.
Yes. Now, that name really played a very big role in my life.
Yeah.
Because most of the time in the radios, I'll be hearing Helen Johnson raised the Liberia. I was like, okay. I told my mom one time that, Mama, I've been hearing this lady. She's a woman, right? My mom said yes. And I have the same name as her. My mom said yes. I told her, okay. One day I also want to, inspire other women like me. I also want to become a president in this country one day. And then my mom was like, but how will you become a president? And yet we have these Jalabas are the ones controlling everything right now. I told her, I know that my dad wanted this country to be separated as a new Sudan. So maybe even if I don't become a president, I must carry that name in the government just like Helen Johnson.
And your dream was fulfilled.
Yes. And
Yeah, so مستمتعنا ممكن تكون بيستغرب طبعا لقونسو كتير. Honorable Helen هنا قوري لنا أن تاريخته كان تحديات الجزء اللي جوا وطبعا أبوته كان يعني زول جنادل على عشان بلده لكن ما تقبل حاجة تانين ما حصل آخرين ما لقوا لكن لسه عشان كده هو إنه قال لابوته باقرا وبروا قدام وده كله تسجيل جم من أمتهم لأنه قاين من طبعا من غريتا بيبور أو من بيبور وشيلوا من برا يا هم من هناك لقوا فرصة جراية وعنده نية بأنه لابد يوم وبقدر يكون في سياسة. أنا ما داري في كلامات كلها لا ونسو لأنه زمن تنا بروا كتير. أنا شايف في ناس عندهم كمان comments online الناس كمان كريمون أسمع ولسه أنا عندي جزء من سؤال هنا اللي أنا عايز أسأله يلا بدأ ممكن أنا بشيله فرصة كمان يتكون بلقوا فرصة يتكون بدو تليفون زول ممكن بقدر أسأله سؤالته في تحديات كتير جلقوا نسوان سو ذكر جبال في تانين يعني كان في زول أزوجوزو ومين وعنده 5 سنة يعني في زول قال أنا خلاص جي حافظوا بنية ده أنا أبي جوزو يعني كلامت الزواج المبكر فيه أخوة الكبير جوزو قبالو سو ده حاجات كتير ممكن بعدين نبي اسمع مني تكون.
برنامج تحت الشجرة فقط على آي راديو عينك على جنوب السودان.
So now you're in politics.
yes.
And you're still climbing the ladder, I'm sure.
Yes.
So how would you describe the environment around you when you started working and when you became an MP, especially now let's talk about politics because you have a passion for South Sudan and you have a passion for politics. Were you excited and ready to take up the position? I remember you said yes, you were, when you are told to take that position, you agreed and you moved
Definitely.
on. So,
Definitely.
and that position eventually actually led you to leadership as a woman. Were you excited? And then even the challenges that I don't know whether you faced some challenges as well when you are now in politics. You can talk to us about that.
Okay, thank you so much. Of course, every role comes with challenges and also achievements. But first of all, let me say I was, of course, excited to become a member of parliament, as that is something that I've always dreamt of. And when I became a member of parliament, there was also another role that was added on top of what I already had. Of course, I was still new in politics and also in parliament. It was like totally a new environment for me. So when the leadership of the parliament was formed, I was given the environment to head it as the chairperson of that particular committee on environment and forestry in the parliament. But now I am former. I'm no longer the chair.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So, given that role, I am not an environmentalist. It is the first time in the parliament. It's the first time in politics. And like as I said earlier, every role comes with a lot of challenges, especially when you're still new. So in the beginning, I didn't actually know where to start. I was just there. The good thing is that I had very supportive senior members of parliament. Mm-hmm. Most of them, were friends of my dad. And so when they hear the name Lukurnyang, it was be like, some of them will cry. Awesome. So what they normally come to do is they will look for me and then sit me down. Mm-hmm. And, they would always encourage me. You can do this, you can do this. Because at some point, the members of parliament from my area just recommended that I should take up that position of being the chairperson of environment. Mm-hmm. I don't know for what reason. Mm-hmm. I just had to also accept it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to let them down. So they used to encourage me. Elder members, or let me say senior. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would sit me down, encourage me, and I was able to pick up from there. Mm. That is one. The other thing is that even after the decree was out, I had to get calls. So others were congratulating me, while others were telling me, why do you have to leave your NGO job and go to parliament? It's about of siyasa South Sudan till Samakwe. Things are not stable. I was like, yes, I know. Out of a bit, there are some chaos. but a mother can never run away. And if this is the calling that I mean, God has wanted me to be in, then I have to go for it. Others will be like, you are still young, why do you want to become a politician? I'll be like, I am already, for example, in Kenya, somebody must have attained the age of 21 and above to become a member of parliament. But I'm already above that age, so why do I have to decline it? I have to go for it. I am no longer young. If I am able to manage my own, then I can also manage other affairs. This is what I used to tell them. So, and aside from that, some would even call my husband, and that's the worst part of it, by the way. Others would call him and like, now you have allowed your wife to go into politics. Do you know what they do there? Others, girl, do you even know how she acquired the position?
That's
my
the
husband
problem.
was like, yes, I know how she acquired the position. She has been there in that party, and she has been a member for a long time now. So I don't want to limit where she wants to go just because she is my wife. She has to go for it. You know what they mean?
He's very understanding.
Yes. Now, for the rest of the people, they think maybe I've sold my body. This is what they normally believe. And once I get there, they believe I'm going to change. She's not going to cook for you. You know, these ladies of nowadays, okay. My husband, he will just call me and say, my wife, this is what somebody just told me so and so. I'll ask him, then how did you answer him? He's like, yes, I gave him the answer that he deserved. He doesn't tell me what he said, but this is it. So
It's good that
the good
he
thing
really
is that
supports you.
yes, I have a very supportive husband. This is also, I have to attribute it to him because despite all those
Otherwise,
negative
your house
advice,
will be in chaos.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes. So these are some of the challenges that I encountered after being a member, after joining the parliament.
In fact, that is true, and that needs another discussion also, because most times people feel like a woman who joins politics,
Yes.
she's not a good woman after all,
Exactly.
but that is not the case.
Exactly.
It's the same thing like for our field of journalism and other fields too. Men, I don't know whether they feel insecure or what, but there are few of them like your husband who do understand that.
Yes.
So now, where do you want to see yourself in, let me say, 5 years' time? You have already reached the parliament.
Yes.
What's your next dream?
Well, I can't exactly tell because, you know, sometimes things may change. But my hope is that I want to be more than what I am today. Maybe if things go on well with me, I would like to hold a ministerial position that will allow me to discuss, because this parliament is just like a rubber stamp. We are just there, but we don't perform so well because there are some limitations. You might have even heard some of the utterances of some of the big politicians, like Parliament de mind you sort, like
Yeah, a lot of things.
it was not an elected parliament. So there's nothing we are doing much in this.
So you still have
I
more
still-
dreams to
exactly.
move on.
Yes.
Now, Helen, my namesake, let me just say my namesake. I don't want to
Yes.
put the honorable there.
It's okay.
So sometimes, you know, you have mentioned something very important, that you are being told to take up positions, even in areas whereby, you know, you are not an expert, but
Exactly.
you accept it very easily,
Exactly.
especially now coming to politics.
Yes.
Why do you think that maybe some of the women, when they are asked to take up a position, they are a little bit adamant? Yanu wangekafo anaborwa shtaka na kefu wangekafo mention.
Okay. For this particular matter, there are several issues that might not allow some of the women to take up roles easily. Number wahid, like some women fear. Maybe because for the lack of confidence, they don't believe in themselves. Number two is also the education level. Lano, most of these jobs that people have are just given, not because you are competent, but because they just want you to be there. Maybe you are related to that particular person. So ita bishuf mara alma into that level of education. Bigul no, ana mabagder. Yala tani, khaf kaman ta community bitaw. As I told you earlier, في رجال ما بقدر ما بدي لنساوين بتاعهم فرصة عشان يستقلوا like they will feel إنه مرة دي لو لقى شغل بعدين بخليني بطلع شنو حاجات كتير زي ده. So some women fear for their own lives يعني maybe they are being threatened. These are some of the things that push some of the women back. And the other thing is the responsibility that a woman bears at home. Because a woman must always have a second shift. I mean, like, it becomes if you شغل يلا بعد رجوع you will have to attend to your kids. I mean, carry out all the house chores. And some jobs are so demanding that if you are a woman, you will not be able to, you know, to perform effectively because it requires a lot of time. So كمرة عندك عيال انت ما بقدر تقول لا دي ممكن ساعة 10 في المكتب هناك وانت بعرف انه عيالك هناك ما اكلوا ما حمموا ولا عملوا شنو
ما في زول بيساعده
ما في زول بيساعده and maybe you are only one at home. So دي حاجات بكلي باقي نسوان يجروا ورا في باقي شغلانيات.
لكن أنا برضو في موضوع تاني فوق restrictions بعد مرة في رجال كتار ما دير يعني بعد ساعة 6 أو ساعة كم كده مرة تو يكون برا so زول قاعد بدل ما أنا بروح في شغل ده وأنا بعمل مشكلة في البيت أكير بس كلنا جاني. So I think I have some comments here. Let me look at those comments, then I'll get back to my guests in the studio. Yeah, and then I'll also be able to pick some of your calls. You know, there is something somebody said here I really want you to hear. Maybe you want to say something about it. Okay, I have this one here from Yard Santino Morris. He's saying some men also need support. No need to support women because women will have potential under the responsibility of their husbands. We first need to empower men. Wow. Okay. So I don't know where we're going to start, but we have been marginalized for a very long time, my friend.
Anyway, let me just say a little about that.
Yeah, okay.
I know that there are some men who also need support. And that is why women have taken most of the responsibilities at home. Like, honestly, في رجال ما عندهم شغل. And maybe he is not educated and the wife is educated. In that case, we don't have to say that the role of the husband is to provide. يعني هنا roles بغير. The woman have to provide. You have to support your husband fully, regardless of.
Yes,
we don't deny it, and that is why I'm saying that like we have not left the men out. Royal Makalum, like all the responsibilities are shared. So. Yeah, you don't have to be afraid, my brother.
Even Bekulu Hajat El Tagamul, you still consult him.
Exactly.
You give him due respect to also feel like he's still
the head
man
of the family. He's still the head of the family.
So Ken here is saying, I believe in supporting women because these are the most vulnerable people now in South Sudan. Yes. Whose only way is to educate, the only way is to educate them and strengthen them from different ways or in different ways.
That is true.
Yeah, so that's a positive one. And then we have here Kennison Patterson. Kennison Patterson is saying women just have their rights to perform in the community and in the office as well, but they have limited mindset. Wow. Limited mindset, mark you, when dealing with hard decisions and other barriers. We are eager to observe them doing their duties. We have limited mindset.
Well,
that's serious.
I don't understand what he means by
limited.
But that
is why
mindset.
Sometimes, for me, I understand part of it because it's undermining.
Exactly.
That's why in most positions, men feel like they don't want to hear or to give women a chance to talk because they feel like, what is she going to say?
But I think they should know something. Like there are women who are more smart or even smarter than some men. And when given a role, they will even perform much better than some of the men. So it's not about, oh my goodness, I don't know how to
let it be there. Let's leave it to the audience to judge.
Exactly.
So him to judge. But Majok Ninti here is just saying Elsam he's following, and Gio Chol Opel is saying wonderful. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I think someone is also online. Let me pick this call first of all before we get back to our questions. In the studio, hello. iRadio. Hello. Hello, iRadio. Okay, dema kasha bei ana shaifu fina saa zudugu telefoni ita mungkin bidugu tawali anna kaman bishilu telefon lakin lisa ana kederija kaman le defa taifi studio. I would like to ask you this question, my namesake. How can women in South Sudan build stronger ties among themselves and work together for a common goal such as the empowerment of women? You've heard there that we have a limited mindset. So how do we overcome some of, how do we work together? How do we support ourselves in your own ways?
Okay, well, about supporting each other as women, I think this is something that has already started. It is not something that we need to do, but it's already being done and it is going on. For example, in South Sudan right now, we've got some of the women-led initiatives that aims to support women in most cases. And we've also heard some of these associations. Let's say we have the National Women Youth Union, which draws women from across all the 10 states plus the 3 administrative areas. And this women union has got the role to empower women in terms of decision making. And it also helps connect some of the women to some of these offices that will help them, grow not only in politics but in other ways. And one best way for women to work together is always to associate. Just like, how do I put it? For example, maybe one of the days women can sit down by themselves and discuss issues that affect women and find ways forward. And if at all we have some of these organizations that are led by women, then we should also encourage more women to join.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Those are some of the ways, and maybe also you listening out there, you have other suggestions. You can also call us right away on the following numbers so that you can be part of this lively conversation.
It's a Baghdad Diamond Wenisuma iRadio على نمرة التليفون 0911-986-986 أو تبي رسل رسالة على نمرة 0913-986-986.
iRadio, hello. Hello.
السلام عليكم ما شاء الله كيف تمام؟
أهلا وسهلا. مرحبا معنا منو؟
طوال معكم بشير إبراهيم في
اوكي بشير مرحبا.
أنا بقول شكرا للأمهات بتاعنا اللي قاعدين معكم هنا. علينا قاعدين برا قاعدين نسمع صوته وأنا مرتاحين فيه عشان أنا شايف الدولة كله مشاوين في جنوب السودان هم شغالين قوية. لأنه أنت كمالة في البيت أنت ما قاعد تودو مع شريف بعد مرة كيو أنت كيو ودو مع شريف لكن بروش بكتة منك بخلي حاجه لسه قاعد بمعنى شنو المرة ده بعرفه بعمل مشكلة كيف بعرفه يعني بعمل ايكونومي ومرة ده كمان بعرف يعني شخصية يعني بتكلامه يعني ما ممكن يعني حاجة داير زاير في نفسه وبعرف شنو داير يعمل. ناس عارفين في جنوب السودان المشكلة بيجي هم خايفين عشان في شغلات هم ما يقدر أنا قاعد هم ما يقدر عشان يشتغل لكن هم يقدر يشتغل لأنه في تاني جزء قاعد ونس كويس. So ده هو أدافع بتعيشوية لأمهات بتاعنا اللي قاعدين معكم هنا. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا كثير لتا وسلم ناس هنا كله ممكن حسا كمان تنبدوغو تليفون تاني. You are listening to the Under the Tree program on iRadio. نعم تنو لسا قاسمة لبرنامج تاتيتا الشجرة في iRadio معنا هيلين سامويل ودي فتاي هيلين غايدوغ وأدو في برلمان وكمان جيميسيلو Montigata Bibor al-Kubra walela naguonu san kef anna bagder shejenu swantanina san mon kaman bagder amsuku مسؤوليات زي ما itakuwa nasema mintaifa taiga showea yani TSG tanuswan وكمان شنو بقدر قوي من شامون بفكر قالي أنا ما قال أنا ما عنده أنا ما عنده قدرة زي واحد هنا كلم قال لي مقتنع شوية and كلام تزول كمان someone here send a message something more or less like that. Let me look at the message. This is Maria Kano. He's saying congratulations to you madam for the achievements. I wish my wife to participate in politics. Wow,
Thank you so much.
So you have already inspired someone, a man for that matter, and he's
Just
wishing. And I'm sure this one is not going to let his daughters stay at home.
Encourage your daughters and
Wow.
also your wife if
Yeah.
she has the
So,
potential.
Yeah, this is men Kamarek is saying he's giving reasons. Low commitments due to the engagement at the houses or at home. This is why women cannot participate in leadership, and negative mindset. I don't know that one also.
Maybe
Is it from the woman themselves,
from the men,
or
Maybe
from
it's
the men, or from the community?
Maybe.
We don't know, but I wish you could have explained further.
Elaborated more.
And Manuel Philip is just saying congratulations to her for her achievement. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
you, Honorable.
Thank you.
And then Tesluch Gatwich also is saying congratulations. Yeah, keep your
Thank you.
comments coming, and you
Thank
can
you.
call. I'm seeing that we're having very very little time. Lakini kanzol kamana zozidu dugu telefon lenna seri mungkin bidugu ana bishilu so you know ana kana zo mungkin kenonu sude ma arabi besit anna taban hasabun so kan an KFTG au temkinta nuswan عشان بيشي يوم كمان بقدر شيلو مناسب او بقدر يكون في مناسب ونشوف الليله تحديات تا هونربل هيلين وكمان وري لنا كيف لحد وصل في مرحله دي لحد ما انه ناس قاعدين قالوا لي سكر. So just before we complete this one, let's briefly talk about early marriage, the impact of early marriage on both the boys and girls. Most people talk about girls. Yes, we talk about girls, but does it mean that boys are not affected by marrying early?
Thank you once again, Mama Helen. I know when we talk of early marriages, we always focus on girls, yet ignoring the boys' side. Simply because for the girls' case is always rampant. And maybe the reason is that we tend to lose girls most of the times. But the reality is that these boys that we see most of the times are not treated as we believe they are. Mm-hmm. Because in my community, we always have this case whereby if you have or 2 or even 3 boys, and God forbid, in case one of them dies, the other one will always have to take over, regardless of the age of that boy. This happens, and some people from my community will testify to that. A boy who is of 15 maybe or less of an age, when the brother dies, he will have to be recalled and take over the wife. Inherit the brother's wife. Mm-hmm. And that is unfortunate because some of them are not psychologically and mentally prepared for such responsibilities. You will find a boy who is in Uganda, maybe, who was taken to school in Uganda. And if such thing happen, he will have to be called back and take over. That wife of
what
the brother.
If he's married?
Well,
he feels like it is his duty. So
exactly, he has to accept it, mm-hmm. no matter what. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that most of the times, our people depend on cattle for everything, marriage. And if you have a boy as the firstborn, and you feel like you already have enough girls, and for example, I am a mother of boys, mm-hmm. and maybe it will reach a time I will be like, I want to have a daughter-in-law already, mm-hmm. and my boy is maybe 10 or 12 years of age. Mm-hmm. So what I will do is to pick a girl for him. Mm-hmm. By the time that girl grows up, whether it's in school or not, I'll make sure that that girl comes to my house and then become a wife for my son, of which the boy is still young. He doesn't even know how to take care of himself. He doesn't know how to take care of someone else, and it becomes a burden for him. You will find that at some point this boy will try everything possible to provide for that girl that you married. I married for him. And when he finds it difficult, the only thing for him to do, maybe he will have to go and steal or even raid, just to make sure that he provides. And to make it worse, when that girl conceives or they have children. So these are some of the issues that our boys face, but we tend to ignore it because we feel like they are strong enough and they can carry all those responsibilities, which is not true.
Yeah, because in most cases, like the parents also feel I'm there, I can support the boy, and you never know how long you're going to be there to keep supporting. Meaning the boys even don't have an independent mind.
Exactly.
They're just acting on what the culture says or what is expected of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so
and, and as for the girls, I think this is something that almost everybody knows. In my culture, we don't believe in anything else apart from somebody getting married, because that's the best certificate that a woman will have to get.
So now you want to tell me that even girls are not dreaming of going to education? What are they thinking?
Maybe some of them will dream of going to school, but they are not given. I mean, that dream will never come true, because somebody will have to marry you so that your parents will get cattle. Because the only reason we give birth to girls is to give them, marry them off, and then get wealth. Because we are a source of health. I mean, wealth in my communities. This is what our girls are meant for, just to bring wealth.
That's a very serious one. But now you can be a role model for them.
This is it. That's what I'm trying actually to do, and I'm happy that some of the women, especially women and some men in the community, have decided that they will take their girls to school, because when they see me or any other educated girl from my community standing in front or among several other people, among the men, and speak, and that speech carries weight. Some of them will even shed tears and be like, wow, I wish. And in that process, that wish will turn into an action by maybe somebody taking his daughter or her daughter to school.
Yeah, so what I'm looking at is in our communities, especially rural communities, a lot of work needs to be done to have that change of mindset.
Exactly.
Because if we believe girls are still sources of wealth, so everyone will grow up or will be there, or the boys or even the parents will just be waiting. I have girls, so I have wealth. It doesn't matter what else. They don't think beyond their lives, how it's going to be.
That is true.
So in the world we are moving, the world is evolving. So things need to be changed. They need to start standing out for themselves. Because in some scenarios, you could see that you really don't know how long this person is going to support you.
Exactly.
I'm seeing time for the news is almost approaching. So last words, messages, anything I've left out you'd like to add? Welcome, Honorable Helen.
Thank you so much, Mama Helen. I think I don't have much to say up to this point, because I believe we have covered most of the things, though our time is limited. But what I would like to put across, I mean, my message to both men and women is that the world is moving forward, and women are taking up positions in most of these, be it in politics, be it in any other kind of work. So. And the other thing is that women are the most resourceful people if we are to talk about, production or production capacity. A woman will go out, bring food and feed the family, but a man may earn money and then he disappears from there, go and take tea with his friends.
He has other projects.
Exactly. By the time he is back home, grush the entire. Lakin mara le menyon shokol. Atalo jama aba grush base. Grush te bestamilu fi bet yalu ya bakulu be rajulu. So let us empower our women. Let's encourage them to work hard. To take up positions. Istakalu mataba. And for the women, as the say goes, what a man can do, a woman can also do, or can even do better. Matakhafu. Take up position. Istakalu. Lanu it also rabitakum ya afi yedenkum. Your man will be out for the whole day, but you are there to take care of your children. Ita bitarif jana yatu ya jian, jana yatu ya awayan, they shokol bitak. So you have to do whatever it takes to to work also and participate in anything.
Shukran Kathir. Thanks so much. And those final words from my guest, Honorable Helen Ngaidok Lokurnya, an MP in the National Transitional Legislative Assembly representing Greater Pibor administrative area, also brings us to the end of this important conversation on inspiring women and girls on their way to leadership. I hope the experiences, challenges, and the ways forward shared by my guest to achieve your dream will inspire you to focus on what you want to do to reach your goal. Thank you very much, Honorable Helen, for having this conversation on iRadio today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And in conclusion, the journey of women to leadership is often inspired by the presence and influence of other women in leadership roles. The stories and experiences shared by successful women demonstrate the power of inspiration and support in empowering women to pursue their leadership aspirations. Thank you for following us online and on air. We'll meet again next Thursday, same time, under this tree where we can discuss other important issues that matter to you. I've been with you, Helen Samuel. Stay tuned for the news.